Hey friends, Joe here with Geeks Worldwide, and this is the Razer BlackShark V2 Pro wireless esports gaming headset. I'm not an esports player, I'm not a competitive gamer. I've been using these as basically my Zoom headset. So I've been using it in Zoom, Teams, Uber Conference, you name it. Everyone's like, what the heck is Uber Conference? But anyway, I've been using it for conference calls for work almost exclusively. I've done some gaming with it on, but not competitive. So I haven't really had to stress test the microphone just for basic conference calls. The microphone was totally sufficient. Never had issues with echo, never had anybody tell me they couldn't hear me. It was pretty good. Now, I do have a segment here where I'm going to compare it to an external microphone for podcasting and conference calls called a Yeti by a company called Blue. So you'll see that in just a moment. Okay, but first we gotta just talk high level about what's different with this headset versus the other BlackSharks and other headsets that Razer provides. Number one, this is the more minimalistic design. I love the way this looks. I'll give you a tour in a moment. Also, it's like featherweight. It's not very heavy at all. And Razer has three key standout features about the product that I've pulled up here so we can take a look at it. Number one is their HyperSpeed wireless technology. So this is extremely, as Razer says, extremely low latency. So that's why it's geared towards esports. And it uses industry-leading 2.4 gigahertz wireless connection to ensure lossless audio, etc., etc. Again, I'm not esports-ing, so listening to music, listening to other people on a conference call, I've experienced zero latency. And I think it's important that while I'm not an esports gamer, to show you that this can be used for more things than just what's written on the box. The second thing is their TriForce titanium 50 millimeter drivers. I will say these sound absolutely amazing. I'm a huge fan of this headset, as you can tell. I'm super hyped about it. Now, I don't know what the 50 millimeters means. I don't know what titanium means outside of just marketing, but for me, it's a very comfortable headset that sounds great, and that's really what matters. And then we have the HyperClear Cardioid Razer HyperClear Supercardioid microphone, and that's this guy right here. Now, I don't have this plugged in. For my daily use, I do stick to that Yeti, and you'll see why in a moment. The most obvious reason, though, look, I don't like having the thing in my mouth like all the time, right? The microphone's like, hitting my mouth. It's another thing in the way. I feel like I can rock this for hours. I mean, I know I can rock it for hours because I've been rocking it for hours. But once you introduce the microphone and stick it in right here, and you got to lift it up and down to get it out of your way, and if you want to take it off, put it back on, the microphone position changes. I'm not saying it's a bad microphone or a bad design. I'm saying for my use, I prefer to use the external Yeti that I have right over there. Now, something else to note is that there is, you know what? I should mention there's a dial here for adjusting your volume. So they've implemented a really cool design here. Okay, passive noise canceling, that is for sure. These cups actually fit my giant ears really well. You can see my ears don't stick out in any way. Can't say that for all headsets that I've tried. And you get that passive noise canceling to really help kind of suck in the sound and keep you focused. That's one of the biggest reasons I've been using these over other headsets that I've tried in the past. The other headsets, they seem to be they're too small for my ears, but not only that, they don't really have this cushion that kind of sucks you in. But so since this is lightweight, minimal, and sucks you in, I feel like I can enjoy my games better than if I'm just using my external speakers to play my games. And maybe I'm late to the party on that, but to me that's really awesome. This does weigh just 320 grams without the microphone connected, and you get controls right on here to do, to make some adjustments and control what you got going on. So we'll do a tour of that in just a moment. So the next thing is price. These are $180 at the Razer store. Razer runs sales from time to time on their peripherals, so keep a look if you're interested. Hard to say if it's worth $180. I'd say if you're like me and you spend, 4 or 5 hours a day on conference calls or just in meetings, it's totally worth it. I've tried really hard to find a pair of headphones that I like. This is the one. This is the one I'm keeping. So, all right, we're going to move on, do a tour. I'll show you the settings in Synapse, and we'll do a comparison of the microphone that comes with this BlackShark and my external Yeti. All right, thanks a lot. Beginning with the design, I love the braids that are happening here along the outside. It gives this a really high quality look and feel. And then on the inside, the memory foam, I'm not exactly sure what material this is, but it reacts like memory foam does, maybe a little bit faster. It's just really comfortable around the head. And then of course, for the ear cups, it's the same idea, this memory foam type design. And I have really big ears, honestly, so I'm surprised that my ears fit inside these cups so well. But this inner cup where the drivers are, actually, it is quite comfortable even for me and my large ears. So yeah, definitely a big fan of that. And then back to the design overall, these are the hinges where the cups are sort of connected to the headset. And yeah, I mean, it's a cool look. It's very minimal. You know, this hinge is kind of as thin as it can get, and then you see this is almost like a wire. I mean, it's thicker and stronger than a wire, but there's not much. It's not thick and obtrusive. And then there's an actual wire for communication of the data that's going through here. It's just the one wire. It's not bad. Now you can extend this to make it wider, just like that, and push it back in. So I'm operating pretty much at, right at the smallest size. Apparently I don't have a very large head for the target market. Now to I/O, we have, first of all, this is where the microphone plugs in. It's a standard 2.5 millimeter microphone. There is this interesting shape to it that Razer's engineered. So you can see how the black part, this plastic, sticks out. It doesn't really fit in here as perfectly as you would assume, but you got to kind of work it, and then eventually it does plug in and you're good to go. Next to it we have another 2.5 headphone jacks. This will connect to your audio device. So if you use something like a Yeti and you want to plug into it, you can do that. And that way the audio settings in Windows would be output your headset through Yeti, and then it would plug in here. And that requires no battery. You can still listen into your speakers, or to your sound rather, and you're good to go. This is a mute button, so you just mute, unmute. So green is go in this sense, right? So green is go. It is on unmute right now. And, oh, I skipped right over the power. This is a micro USB. This is a V2 product from Razer. It seems like their V3 products will start to have USB-C. So we'll see if that's consistent and true over time. And then finally, we have the power button. So if you hold the power button, 1, 2, 3, you get a blue status light, meaning that you're on and it's running. It will stay blue throughout your use until it's off, right? So the cool thing about that, I've been testing other headphones, and I'm noticing that some headphones, for whatever reason, that you got to hold down for like 7-8 seconds sometimes to turn on your device. In this case, it's just 3 seconds. Let's go ahead and power it off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 5 seconds off. And there's one other thing I forgot to mention when it came to the branding, and that's the Razer logo. There you go. That's the Razer logo right there. It's on both sides. This is an extremely comfortable headset, and I've been really happy with it. So, yeah, that's a tour of the device.
This is what the Razer BlackShark V2 Pro microphone sounds like.
And this is what my $130 external microphone, a Blue Yeti, sounds like. It's a tour of the BlackShark V2 Pro inside of Razer Synapse. So Razer Synapse is Razer's tuning application. It's used across all of their devices. Just a quick tour here. Right now I have the Black Widow V3 Pro connected, Razer Pro Click mouse, and the BlackShark V2 Pro. Quick thing to notice, the V3 Pro, this actually, in this Synapse thumbnail, it shows you the percentage of the battery remaining, whereas the other devices, you just have this icon. So you don't quite know what the battery level is like, but you get a pretty decent sense. All right, so first up is sound. This is where we can adjust the volume settings. And I love this option here. So you can select the fallback speakers. I have a lot of devices connected, a bunch of different speaker considerations, and it was really annoying with this headset before I realized that you can make this adjustment, this fallback option. In fact, that's what prompted me to show you this, how it looks in Synapse, because I've noticed that, oh my gosh, this is actually pretty impressive. This is a professional level of options. Okay, for mixing, I've turned on spatial audio through THX. Razer owns THX. You could go into manual mode and you can adjust whether or not THX spatial is being used for particular applications and games. If there's anything that's not listed automatically, you can just hit the plus button and find the application. And then with spatial audio, there's a bunch of different modes. I keep mine in game mode because that's really the only time I ever wear the headset for a long period of time. And then for enhancements, I turned on everything to test them out, and I actually kept them on. So bass boost, sound normalization, and voice clarity. There is an equalizer. I'm really boring. I just hit game. It seems to make sense to me. Sounds awesome, so sticking with it. For the microphone, I don't currently have it plugged in. I have a Yeti that I use for my conference calls and podcasts and such. I found it simpler instead of having the microphone connected to the BlackShark. I mean, it sounds good. It doesn't sound as good as the Yeti. So I've kept the Yeti as my primary microphone, and I just unplugged the microphone from this headset. Here you can adjust the volume, all that kind of stuff, and there's an equalizer. But like I said, using the Yeti, so didn't bother with it past testing. This is awesome. This headset can turn off automatically if there's inactivity for anywhere from 15 minutes to an hour. I have mine set to 15 minutes. The reason I really like this is that, of course, you want to conserve your battery life, and when you don't even know the percentage remaining, how do you know exactly how much longer you keep your headset on for? And this one still charges over micro USB, not USB-C, so it's a slower charge. And I don't have micro USB cables just lying around like I have USB-C cables because of my cell phone, and my BlackShark, my Death Widow V3 Pro is also USB-C. So I have in my tablet, I have USB-C everywhere, but not micro USB. So it's kind of a pain to plug it in. But the cool thing is that because of this inactivity thing, I can just take the headset off, put it down, go run an errand or whatever I have to do, and not worry that I'm draining the battery. So if I think I'm going to be gone for 5 minutes because I have to heat up my coffee and then it ends up being an hour, I don't have to worry about it because my headset just turned off automatically. So hope you found this helpful, and yeah, see you on the next one.